Hello Kindred Spirits and welcome back. Happy beginning of December. If you're new here, my name is Leo and I create cozy, creative, intentional living videos. So stay tuned for lots of cozy, Christmassy content coming up soon. By the time this video goes out, I will have finished up at my job, so I will be looking for a new job probably come the new year because recruitment tends to slow down a little in the December period. And I think in the December period, I'm really going to focus on romanticizing life and giving myself permission to relax, do the things that I enjoy doing, and also just trying to de-stress from what has been a really eventful and sometimes quite upsetting year. So I'm going to be romanticizing as much as possible, putting on makeup, wearing all my pretty things, and baking cookies, and watching all the Christmas movies, and reading the Christmas books, and drinking the Christmas tea, and all the Christmassy things that I haven't necessarily had much time to get up to in previous years because of work and family commitments, etc. So I kind of feel like I've been given the gift of this time to kind of enjoy and to sort of decompress. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be taking you along with me, and you're going to see some of the content in these videos coming up soon, which I hope you're going to enjoy as well. My next video after this video is going to be a video of my recent trip to London with my lovely friend Shelley, who visited me from Norway. We went into London and we saw some beautiful, gorgeous Christmassy sights. It was the most Christmassy little visit to London, and we saw the book tree in St Pancras and the Harry Potter tree at King's Cross Station, and we went into Harrods and Covent Garden, and it was just lovely. So keep your eyes peeled for that video. It is a super festive one. I wanted to explain to you why I didn't film a decorate with me video when I did my Christmas decorating, and there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one was, while I had a vision in my head of what kind of Christmas decorations and how I kind of wanted the overall look to come out, I wasn't sure how I was going to pull it off. And I was a bit nervous. I was feeling a bit anxious about filming that video because I just felt like it's going to take so much time, and if I don't get it right, I'm going to have to refilm everything, and it kind of just took away from the joy of just decorating and the joy of being creative and getting it wrong and then recreating the look and doing it in a different way. I kind of felt like I was under so much pressure to get it right, and when I decided not to film it, I felt that pressure lift, and then I could get on with the decorating and enjoy the process. One of the other reasons why I didn't film the process was because I decorated in between work. I was often decorating at night, which is not the best time in terms of trying to film things because the lighting is awful. And it happened in small, short bursts here and there as I had time in between work, at lunch times, early in the morning when the family was still asleep. So it kind of evolved over about a week. Also in this video, we're going to be baking some cinnamon rolls for tomorrow because we're going to enjoy cinnamon rolls with our advent calendars tomorrow morning. But also, at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving you my top movie and book recommendations for Christmas so that you can have something to read and something to watch during the festive season that will just give you all the cozy, snuggly vibes. So come with me and let's check out the Christmas decorations. So let's start off in the kitchen. These are my nutcrackers. The Nutcracker Prince was bought for my husband and my daughter as a gift for me. The Nutcracker Sugar Plum Fairies was bought for me by my friend Roxy as a Christmas gift one year. Gingerbread House was bought for me by my friend Shelley, who visited me recently. I absolutely love my Nutcracker set. They are all very special to me because they were given to me by friends. And my gingerbread house, it's kind of a little land of sweets setup I've got going on there with the gingerbread house and the sweeties and the nutcrackers. You will have already have seen my hot chocolate station setup in my previous video. If you've not seen that, I will put the link up above. As you can see, the cookies have been completely decimated by the family, of course they have, and this is my little bit of sunshine in the spot by where we make our coffees in the morning. The lights in the window are ones I bought on eBay, and I can link them for you. They are snowflake ones. I've drawn inspiration from the Scandish Home on YouTube, where she puts these beautiful houses in her window. I have put houses and trees and bridges, and I can link to that SVG file in the Etsy shop. Of course, there has to be a puzzle out at Christmas, because we all enjoy messing about with a puzzle, and we all stop in here and there to put in a piece here and there. And this is the tree. Try and get it all in for you. I've used the greenery from my garden to make the garland for the mantelpiece, and I've used those orange slices and the lime and the lemon slices in this garland just to give it a bit of brightness. I've used those massive cones that I found in the charity shop with some twinkly lights and some ribbon, and I really love how it's turned out. Those massive lanterns that I refurbished and repainted have come out lovely. I want to put some white candles in there, some 3 candles, you know, sort of a really large one, a medium one, and a small one in there instead of just those red candles. But I haven't had an opportunity to get to IKEA as yet, so I will do. And when I do, that'll be a bit brighter at the bottom there, but also it'll be brighter when the fire is lit. There are some of the pomanders that I made, and I've popped them into a tray with some greenery, some potpourri, and the stand of candles. That was something I found at a car boot sale. It's just a sort of an arch with some candles in it. See, this is the window my daughter decorated, and she's put lots of trees and bridges and houses in there, and the lovely lights. There's also Father Christmas if you look very carefully, which she thought was quite a nice little touch. So as you come down our stairs, you will see that. Then there are some of the throws and things I've collected, and a cushion I made over there out of an old plaid shirt. And this is something I saw in a Christmas magazine last year that I wanted to recreate. It's basically a hula hoop with some ivy draped around and some lights attached, just sort of twirled around. And I love the way it came out. The lights are some little mushrooms just on the bottom there, and then I've got some just plainer lights on the top. But I really like the idea of the bottom of the ring looking like it had just popped up with some little mushrooms, and they are really quite sweet. So that is such an easy thing you can do. I've just pulled the stickers off the hula hoop so that it's just plain black, and I attached the lights and the ivy on it from my garden. So let's talk about Christmas movies and some of my suggestions for films that you watch this Christmas. The first one on my list is a movie that I watched last year called A Castle for Christmas. And the movie is about Sophie, who is an international best-selling author who's taking some heat for some of the choices she made in her recent book. And the fans are mad at her. So she decides to go on a holiday and she decides to visit a place called Dunbar in Scotland, where her father's family are from. Sophie's staying at the local B&B where she meets some wonderful friends. She falls in love with a Scottish castle that she finds out is in financial difficulty. The Duke, unfortunately, is in a position where he has to sell the castle, his ancestral home, because there is no way he can keep it because of the financial difficulties he finds himself in. Sophie is absolutely in love with the castle, but her and the Duke are just not getting along. He makes her a deal and he says, right, if we live in the castle together for the next 3 months and you pay a non-refundable deposit, if after 3 months you decide that you don't want to buy the castle, I keep the deposit, you can walk away scot-free. I won't hold you to the contract. But if she can make it through the 3 months and she still wants to buy the property, then she gets to keep the property and he has to move out. The rest of the story is a delightful story where this poor Duke does everything he can to put her off this property, and the more he tries to put her off the property, the more she's in love with the property. There is a romance that ensues. Think about all the Scottishy, Highlandy things that I've been trying to incorporate into my Christmas decor this year. It is in this book. It is a super cozy film that lands up culminating in a beautiful Christmas party at the castle, and it just, oh my goodness, you have to watch it. And of course it features a very, very well-known actor that you will have all remembered from The Princess Bride, Carrie Elwes. It's an absolutely delightful story and I'll be watching it again. I'll leave a link down below of where you can get hold of this movie to watch for yourself. The next movie on my list is probably one of the most well-known, and that is The Holiday. The Holiday is a story about two women living in two different parts of the world, one in England and one in America, and they decide to do like a house swap for the holiday season because of issues they're having in their private lives. So Ivy decides to leave England and go and stay in Amanda's house in America, and Amanda comes and stays in Ivy's house. And Amanda's from a completely different world, massive sprawling mansion, and she goes to stay in this tiny little picturesque cottage somewhere in the Cotswolds. Both of them land up finding love interests in different parts of the world in some of the coziest and most wonderful, heartwarming settings and wonderful, heartwarming situations. This movie is one of those movies that you just simply have to watch at least once in your life, and it will become a firm favorite. If you haven't watched The Holiday, I would highly recommend it. If anything, just to see that beautiful cottage, and also look out for the children's tent. I won't say any more, but that is the reading nook of my dreams. And the next movie I want to recommend to you, if you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend that you do, and it's called Noel. Noel is the story about Father Christmas and Father Christmas's sister. Yes, Father Christmas's sister. So when Father Christmas comes time for him to pass on the Christmas reigns to his son to become the next Father Christmas, well, he has other ideas and he pulls a disappearing act, and Noel has to go and find him. And she finds him, and well, it's really quite comical and quite funny. But the end warms my heart in a sisterly solidarity, and I love the way this film is really about how Christmas and the feeling of Christmas and the idea of Father Christmas that is so wrapped up in Christmas is not necessarily what we think it is, and not necessarily what we've come to believe it can only be. I highly recommend this film. It's Christmassy, it's funny, it's heartwarming, and it is just such a good watch for all the family. So the book selections for this Christmas that I've been really enjoying are two non-fiction books. I have talked about one of them before, And the first one we're going to talk about is Nigel Slater's The Christmas Chronicles. This is one of the coziest books that I have ever read. I love the book so much that I've actually downloaded the audiobook, who was also read by the author, so that I can listen to the audiobook while I am cleaning, while I'm cooking, and while I'm getting on with my daily routines. The back says, "This is the story of my love for winter, the scent of fir and spruce, ghost stories read with a glass of sloe gin, and beeswax candles with shadows dancing on the ceiling. With recipes, fables, and quick fireside suppers from November to early February, I take you through my essential preparations for Christmas and the new year and everything you need for the winter months." Now, this book can be read like on the first day that he starts. You can read the passage for that day and then get on to the next passage the following day. But I found this book so cozy, I made my way through it rather quickly, and then during the season I dip in and out of it. I read it last year and it was absolutely gorgeous, and I've already listened to the audiobook once this season, but I have no doubt that I will listen to it again. It's cozy, it's got recipes, it talks all about how our Christmas traditions came to be what they were. It talks about the author's visits to Christmas markets in Nuremberg and Cologne and beautiful wintry places he has visited around the world. I highly recommend this book. The next book I wanted to recommend is Merry Midwinter, and this is written by Gillian Monks. Now, this book is filled with nostalgia. This book is filled with nostalgia. It is one of those books that is all about Christmases past. It's about getting away from the commercialism and the consumerism of Christmas and getting back to the, not necessarily the religious reasons for the season, but the kind of traditions and the things that we did in the past of Christmases when times were simpler. And it is such a cozy book. There are recipes, there are stories, there are musings. It's absolutely delightful, and it is such a cozy read. I've been reading this in bed at night, and I find that it is such a peaceful read. So perfect for reading before bed.